Welcome to the Conclave.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Conclave.Podcast. Today is episode 10, and going off of our preset schedule of every 5, we have a special treat for you today, or at least what I think is a special treat. I love these episodes, even though it's only our second one. This is the Am I the Asshole Spellcraft Edition, where we have scoured the internet looking for the same thing that we see in every platform through every creator, because we are blatantly stealing doing Am I the Assholes? But our special little twist is we then look at the magical side to it. Like, what kind of spells can you be doing? What should you know? Is there a certain crystal you could carry? A certain candle to burn? Things like that. How do you go about it from the metaphysical, spiritual, or witchcraft-based direction from it? So that's our little twist on our blatant ripping off of something that is oh so popular. So, without further ado, Jess here is going to go first. And she has a great one. She didn't have to go looking too far because this is a user submission.
And we very much look forward to user submissions. It stops us from having to scour Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit can be fun. I always feel like I lose a few brain cells.
There were a couple I was looking through them like, oh, that's super triggering. We're going to keep moving on because I'm not going to use that.
Yeah, there were definitely ones that I would have preferred to use because they've been juicier. But yeah.
Like, we're trying to keep this fun, not like make anybody cry or.
Yeah, we're never gonna have ones that are like, I broke up. I just saw a title for one and trigger warning. So you know, if this is if you're easily offended, zoom forward like 30 seconds. Okay. I just saw one. It was, am I the asshole for calling off my engagement because he raped me 10 years ago?
Yeah, and there was one like with like trigger warning child abuse, and I'm like, I'm not reading that.
We're not doing. We're not doing that.
Like, we're gonna I'll read that later and have my own opinions, but we're not doing that for the podcast.
Yep. Now mine does touch into relationships, but it's nothing of that sort. So
yeah.
Without further ado.
All right, so we're gonna call the OP Sarah.
Okay.
Just for clarity, and we'll say the offender, because you're going to be able to tell real fast where I lie on this.
I think
we're gonna call her Karen.
Oh, a Karen.
Now, this is a submission from a listener in Finland. So,
who you may be the only one in Finland that listens, and we do highly
very much appreciate that. But it means we're international, folks.
So, quick pause. First off, I want to do my normal thing of thanking all of you for keep listening in, and for all of you who are joining for the first time. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to annoy you, bore you, or piss you off. But we got a really cool email the other day, and it was a little special place in my heart. Apparently, on Apple Podcast, we are the 124th ranked spiritual podcast in Ireland.
Now, there's probably only 125 spiritual podcasts.
I mean, that's probably true, but it means we're not the bottom.
You know, and if that bottom one is like a Catholic podcast, that's even better.
But if you're one of those listeners in Ireland, thank you.
Right?
Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from any of you guys, whether it be a user submitted Am I the Asshole, a question for our Ask a Witch that's coming up here in a few episodes, or just touching base. Correct us if we're wrong on something, or let us know what you're liking or disliking about it so we can, adjust and go along with it. On the same note, you're going to be hearing some background noise. Hopefully you won't be hearing it. Hopefully this is going to get edited out. I should be able to edit it out, but right on the other side of the wall to us, a new restaurant is going to be going in. So there's a lot of construction going through, and you can hear it through the walls.
Yeah, so you may hear the occasional power tool or hammer. Like, it is what it is. It's the beast we're living with right now.
Yep. And I only brought it up because I just heard buzzing something through there. So, all right. Sorry for interrupting, my love.
All right. So, Sarah wrote in that, am I the bitch? I had a friend who I trusted with everything, but after everything, I blocked her to protect myself. Karen stole my energy to try to force deity to make her wishes come true by making the deity believe it was me asking for the wish. And caveat, English is not this listener's first language, so I will be paraphrasing to me. Sentences sound
that's fair.
A little more coherent. During this time, I found out she was messing with the Baron. And by the Baron, she means Baron Samedi.
I'll touch on him in a minute for those who are not familiar.
Yeah. I took a step back as I don't involve myself in the Baron's business, as she shouldn't. She called on deities without any protection or any confirmation on who the deity was. Turned out one of them was the Baron. So this led to the whole stealing my energy. Her last attempt was attacking me by affecting my chronic illness to make me weak enough to steal my energy to do more of her magic. I called in the deities I'm close to, and they punished her for trying to force them to help her in my name and attacking me. I am still thinking, what if I could have helped her better to guide her to safe practice, but she is now out of my life and has to work hard to get out of the cycle. Am I the bitch?
No.
Absolutely the fuck not. Like, firm, not the asshole. Like, she was a danger to herself and you, for one. And so you very wisely put a block there and took a giant step back from her life.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, for those who do not know who Baron Samedi is, he is a Loa. He is the leader of the Gaydé?
Yeah, or at least one of the kings of the Gaydé.
Yeah. So the Loa they're not gods, although a lot of people do in, modern-esque times kind of perceive them more godlike. But they are higher spiritual beings that are in between humans and Bandai. Bandai being the one creator god. Okay, so we are looking at ATRs, African traditional religions, specifically voodoo, Voodoo, and to a lesser degree, hoodoo.
Yeah.
Hoodoo is definitely more of the folk magic-y side too, whereas voodoo is the spiritual side, but it does cross over and does leak into.
Which makes this very specifically, especially in modern era, Baron Samedi is very specifically a New World entity.
Yes.
He does have roots in Africa, etc., but the way he is treated is very much a New World entity.
Yes.
So if you are of the Manila envelope persuasion,
if you're Mafia,
and living and raised in Europe, there is no godly reason for you to be dealing with the Baron.
Yeah. Now, the same friend we reference pretty much every episode, we really need to have her on here shortly. So everybody,
we gotta force her. She don't want to talk about herself.
Just because y'all need to at least know who it is we're referencing and what she looks like. But our friend Arlene, hoodoo practitioner, she does and has worked very closely with the Baron.
And with the Gaydé Loa.
And the Gaydé in general. Because she had a difficult time speaking directly with him, and I am a channeler, she would use me to have conversations with him. I have channeled him multiple times.
I've seen him a couple times. He's talked to me, but I'm not working with him. He's mostly come to talk to us to be like, get your girl in line. She ain't listening to me. I know you hear me better, so I'm going to tell you what I like. Pass on this message.
That's starting to change. As she is growing and developing in her own rights, he is around much less. He doesn't speak to me very often. My goddess, the Morrigan, has granted him a small spot on her altar, so he gets offerings on the daily with her. But that's as far as working with him has ever really gone. It's more of on his telephone.
I still remember the first time I met him, you and Arlene and Adam were in the basement of the shop doing something involving her calling on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was upstairs with the kids waiting on y'all to finish so that we could go home. And I hear footsteps down the hallway to the bathroom. And I kind of peep over and I just see this very tall man in a top hat. Gorgeous. And he just does like a little tip of the hat and just keeps walking. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so in my experiences, you kind of see him one of two ways, right? The first being in his, we'll call it his official dress,
Right.
right? So we're talking like 3-piece suit,
Top hat, skull face,
cigar, big old cigar, a cane. Everything is like crushed velvet. It is black with purple, and it's very much you can see him and see it to be okay. I don't want to say comforting, but things are fine. Or it can make you want to poop your pants.
Well, yeah.
And there's very little in between. And even when it's at a position where he's kind of shown, like with you, where it's just
I'm here.
It's still his energy and his being and his presence is very big.
Very big.
Very heavy.
Very theatrical.
Very theatrical. And it's intimidating no matter what. No matter how many times that has been something I've experienced, it is still very much intimidating. Okay. And this is coming from somebody who works with and speaks closely with the Morrigan, who's another one that everybody's like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. The other way he tends to present himself is in satin pajama pants, purple, a house coat to match, the 8 miles of washboard.
Grown and sexy.
Showing. Yeah. That's the only way to describe it. And yeah.
Yeah. So now that we've given you a little bit of a rundown on the Baron and our experiences with him, again, if you are Mayo Mafia like we are, like
you don't work with these.
You don't work with these people. They are not like this. It's also like heavily involved in like voodoo and voodoo, which are initiation based practices. Yes. So like if you ain't initiated, you really don't have a lot of
now.
business.
That being said,
the Lua are open.
The white people and whatnots can be initiated into if they find the right people to do so.
I would just be very wary of any house that's willing to initiate like a large amount.
Yeah. And on top of it, they're going to want to know why. Why do you want to work with our ancestors and our people and not yours?
Yeah.
So you need to have a real good answer before you can do that.
And
I really know of many who
don't be offended if you get heavily vetted and they tell you no.
No.
Like it is what it is.
I'm fairly certain for the vast majority it tends to happen that way.
So what Sarah should be doing about Karen, I think she did the right thing. She should have like full block, full stop. I would also probably go to an energy worker and check for any tethers. I've had that happen to me with other workers and make sure that there's nothing still like triggering an energy drain to this other person because fuck being being drained. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I got enough shit going on. Like, I need my energy. Mm-hmm. No one is entitled to that energy except for my children and my husband. Yep. And even then, sometimes I'm like, you guys can go figure it out.
So I would say on top of going to an energy worker and getting that checked out, and that could be anybody. That either could be a shaman, that could be a
Reiki practitioner, anything like that.
Anything of the sort. Cleanse afterwards, even though they've done cleanse. Do your own cleansing afterwards. Do your own wardings and protection. Like set up your barriers, set up your borders. I think that what her going to the gods and be like, do that into the law. Like, that's not me.
Like, sorry, not
I didn't do that.
Not it.
That was that one. Now, typically I would go on the format of snitches get stitches, but in this situation,
absolutely,
absolutely not. This isn't every man or woman for themselves. This is everybody for themselves because you are messing with things
that are way beyond your power and control.
Way beyond.
So I'm not going down for somebody else playing games. Like it's just that's not how it's going to work.
And it's funny. That should never be a thing. And as far as cutting this person out of their life in the mundane world, the mundane aspect, I mean, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
What actual friend is going to put you in this kind
in that position? I would also say don't worry so much on whether or not the gods are going to be mad at you or offended by you. They are gods. they can handle their shit. If
Yep.
like once they figure out what's going on, they're going to be more than happy to fuck somebody's life up for them.
Yep.
For playing games. They're very much a FAFO kind of crowd. So I, and this goes a lot with like anybody talking on like gods you work with, whether it's on social media or in real life. Like sometimes you just gotta be like, okay, there, Sherry.
I mean, I find it wild that Karen thought she could go to the gods and essentially make them grant her wishes.
Yeah.
Like,
they're
not your pet to do tricks.
I know.
They're not even your friend.
I know that Sarah specifically works with Loki, so I'm like, really gonna try to trick the trickster? Like, I'm sorry, he's not buying it. It's just not gonna happen. Like, good luck with that. I don't feel the need, like, too am a Lokian, I don't feel the need to protect him from people playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes. Like, I'm just gonna like, need an idea? I've got some thoughts.
I think the only protection that we should ever even imagine we could give to the gods is going to be just standing up when we hear misinformation, bad mythology, bad reportings of who and what they are and what they do.
Yeah.
Like, in that aspect, correct the people around you. But you can't be like, oh, that person did X, Y, and Z god or goddess wrong. I have to stand up for them. I have to make this right.
They're fine.
They're gods. Like this kind of goes back to a section of what we talked about in the deity episode. We might be their favorite aunt, but we're still just aunts to them.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Kay."
It's gonna go, oh, that's cute. What are you gonna do?
So, and then the other aspect, again, dealing with deity work. Don't make it completely up to the gods to help protect you. You need to have wardings and things in place that are of your own building that do not access the gods, because you never know when they just get bored and walk away for a little bit or what have you. Like, you never know what's going on with them because they're gods. So you need to make sure that you have protections up for yourself, done by you with your energy and your signature on it, because that's going to be your first line of defense, period.
Yep. Now, and if these are gods that you work with or are dedicated to or are supposed to be, all the time in your life, make sure that they're all the time in your life. Even if it's just a glass of water left daily, like do that.
Yeah.
That way, when this is preemptive, they know you. So now, if somebody like Karen steps in and tries to pretend to be you, they're gonna be like, no. We know Sarah. Yeah. We don't know you.
Like, who's this bitch?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I had another thought and I'm spacing, so it must not be that important.
I mean, it's distracting sometimes.
Yeah, I know. You're so pretty. But yeah, like in general, like the gods take care of themselves. Oh, and back to making sure you have wards at your own. Expecting the gods to do all the heavy lifting for you is very much giving like, I'll pray it away vibes. It's giving very much Jesus take the wheel vibes. And it's like, that's not
how we do things on this side of the street.
Gods help those who help themselves. So make sure you're doing your own work on top of building those relationships with your spirit team.
Yep.
That was the thought I had.
Okay, so once again, third overall Am I the Asshole story. Third one that is not the asshole.
Yep. One of these days we're gonna have to find the next.
I was just gonna say next time.
Next
time I'm gonna have to scour for ones of people who are in the wrong.
Yeah.
Mine, on the other hand, again, I think it's gonna be very obvious that OP is not the asshole. If you guys decide that I'm wrong on that, do me a favor and let me know. There's three people in this story. It's her husband, and a friend. I think the only one who is the definitive asshole is the friend.
Is it the threesome?
No, not a threesome.
Sorry. I was going to get second.
Not that much fun. The husband, I think, started off not in the wrong, and he's teetering on the edge.
You better jerk yourself real fast.
Yeah. So, without further ado, am I the asshole for being uncomfortable with my husband's new friend? Okay, context. A few months ago, my husband, Jay, became friends with this girl, S. He hangs out with her a decent amount of the time, once a week or every other weekish, which is a decent amount given our schedules. I have never met her, nor have I been invited to. It's been mentioned that she wants to meet me, however plans are never made, and I'm not invited when he does go. He says he's also hanging out with her boyfriend, but again, I've never met these people. A few things that really rub me the wrong way. He's been doing a lot for her and gave her our space heater, which I have no problem with him helping out or being kind, but it seems like he tries to solve it whenever she has an issue.
Does she got a boyfriend?
Yeah. I asked about donating the Nintendo Switch that we literally never use and has sat in a drawer for years to a child in need, and he said no, because he told S that maybe she could borrow it sometime, and he can't go back on his word that she could maybe borrow it sometime. However, he promised an incredibly close friend of mine that she could for sure have our old Xbox as a Christmas gift, and he's fine going back on that and having me donate that instead. Also, every single time we've gotten in a fight since he met her, he stormed out of the house and run to her place. He does not return for hours and does not contact me while he's gone. I only know where he is because we have iPhones and I have his location. After making a huge deal about spending Christmas with me, he spent less than 2 hours with me and went to a party
Divorce.
With her that I wasn't invited to and was gone all afternoon.
Nah, fuck both these people.
I spoke to him about all these points and said I was uncomfortable, and he swore nothing was going on, but apparently turned right around and told her that what we talked about. Because she's my friend, of course I told her. And A, this makes him more sus, like you gotta get your story straight.
Mm-hmm.
2, now it's gonna be weird with me and her if we meet. Not that I even want a relationship with this female who runs to my husband every time she has a problem instead of her boyfriend.
Because she doesn't have a boyfriend. They're both lying to her. He's fucking her.
Can I please get through this before we... Jeez almighty.
I'm so mad.
No, but... Shush. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because you're making judgments on things that I already have plans of kind of talking through. So... He has other female friends who I adore and does none of this shit with them. So this is not just me hating on other women or some dumb shit. Right? Am I crazy for being uncomfortable? Especially considering he doesn't tell me what they talk about, but immediately turns around and tells her about the private conversations that he and I have had. Last thing I found out today, she's single. Apparently she dumped her boyfriend last night. Guess who she came to first? Mm-hmm. And there's an update. Y'all got into a fight last night, and he's been gone since at least 5 a.m. Supposedly, the plan was to take the car into the dealership for a 6:30 a.m. appointment to get the tire fixed, and then he was going to have lunch with his grandma at Gordon Corral. Tell me why it's fucking 5:06 p.m. He's still not back. I still have not heard from him, other than one text about rent, and his location has been turned off, and it was turned off not far from this girl's place, which, by the way, is in a different state than his grandma.
Change the locks.
Okay, this is where I'm kind of going and my thought process like this for this. I have some spelly type stuff to go along with, so I
gotcha.
I say that I think he probably didn't start off in the asshole realm and with any ill intent to go along with it.
It very quickly escalated to at least an emotional affair.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be an emotional affair initially.
Yeah, it just escalated very quickly.
Oh, it may not. I'm not sure.
Oh, he's already in an emotional affair. Like, all of this is an emotional affair. Even if they're not fucking, he's getting emotional satisfaction from another woman more than he is his partner.
But it's one of those things, I think you have to have intent for that, right? Mm. He started off with a friend. I think she's extremely manipulative and has been twisting what the wife is saying and doing to her favor. I think her intent from the beginning was always to get him pulled in. We had something very similar.
And I had to be like, if I was talking to a dude the way you're talking to her.
That's what I wanted to bring in, and this is why I kind of chose this one.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we have experience or something like this. And it was a good friend of mine. We were friends for damn near 20 years.
And I met her. I didn't have a problem with her, but every time we had a fight, she would spin it that I'm always the problem. Like, it was causing so much strife in our relationship. And I finally had to sit down and be like, if I were talking to another man the way you talk to this girl.
And, you know, and one of the things, I don't think I ever fully took as much credit for the bad side to it as I probably should have back in the when it was happening. You know, I was also in a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
I was depressed. I was stressed out. We were not having it was not a great time in our relationship. And this was somebody that I had
a connection
with for decades. And I don't think it started that way. I think unlike S here, I don't think her intention was ever to have it go in that direction, but it went in that direction. And where you see that
she's been after him for years. I'm sorry, I saw it day one.
I mean, yeah, in high school we played the will they won't they for a while, and during, you know, even a little bit after I got out of the Marine Corps. But at the point when this was happening, we were solid just friends.
Well, and I think, especially with emotional affairs, I don't think men intend to get into them. I think they're so used to turning off a lot of their their softer responses and their nurturing responses, or being nurtured. They're so used to being stoic and tamping everything down that when somebody comes in and is able to manipulate the situation and make them feel nurtured and make them feel comfortable being soft, it's very easy for them to get caught up.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, in this situation, is OP, does she need him? Does she show him that she needs him to help with all these things? Now, I'm not trying to throw blame on her, but if he's getting sucked into this other person who obviously needs him because she's going to him with all the problems and needing help with this and needing help with that, you know, it's connecting
it's
into
a K-drama trope. Like, you see,
other, very much so.
Oh, I'm so weak and can't do anything for myself. Please help me, big strong man.
Yeah, and
they're always the worst.
Where the difference and where the two stories really fully split is when you came and said, no, this is done. Like, this is not right. Whether I agreed with it or not, it was done.
Yeah. And
we cut ties. And, you know, we'll still occasionally, like, it was probably about 3, 4, 5 years later the first time we said anything to each other. And it's still just an occasional, like, once every couple of months, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and a short conversation breaks from that, and then we don't talk again for a couple of months. And a hey, how you doing? Usually around holidays or birthdays, stuff like that.
The difference is when she has been to this guy numerous times being like, this is a problem.
Yes, and this is where he starts, this is his steps towards being the asshole.
Yeah, because like she has communicated, I am not comfortable with this. This is not appropriate. This is a problem. And he's like, don't care.
And, you know, we also don't know how long this time frame is, right? So what we're looking at is...
we know it at least lasted a couple months because we start in like what sounds like summer and we're through Christmas now. Yeah. So it's like, this has been going on for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he may not, because again, guys are dumb, especially when it comes to emotions and stupid ass situations we get ourselves into. It may have had zero intent whatsoever, but here's this person building up this story, this narrative of how bad the wife is. But it's okay because, I mean, she has a boyfriend. I have a friend that agrees with me, right?
Yeah.
Because guys do that too. Like when the few occasions that we're going to go talk to one of our guy friends about our relationship, bro code, you automatically always support your buddy.
Yeah.
But it's not that same kind of emotional support. So it hits different. Things develop that you don't realize is developing with the female friend. Now all of a sudden she's single.
I guarantee she was single all along.
Yeah, there's a good chance that was the case. I'm going to give the husband the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to say that she told him she had a boyfriend. I'm going to say he probably never met the dude.
Well, it says in the beginning that he would hang out with the two of them.
Okay.
So, but it's one of those things of why did they break up? Probably because she's got to the point where she knows she can get this guy away from the wife.
And boyfriend was probably having similar issues to the wife, being like, hello, I'm over here. Like, why are you calling this other dude all the time?
Yep.
And she's like, well, he just, does this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, you know what? I'm not married to this girl. Like, I'm just the boyfriend. I have the freedom to be deuces, end of the lease, walk out, whatever.
So under some weird circumstance where this sounds familiar, if you were listening, this sounds familiar, like this could actually be your relationship, especially if you're dumb enough to go off on, and leave your wife on Christmas.
Yeah, like, that's like the minute that happened, I would have been like,
bro, the easy answer is you dump the friend and you stay with your wife. You can literally backpedal that much and be like, holy shit, babe, I didn't even realize this is what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Like, how fast I would have been changing the locks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
with every right.
And then, like, leaving everything on the porch and being like, we're done here. Wait till I serve you divorce papers because you are not leaving me on Christmas Day after spending a bare 2 hours.
Yeah.
For another woman. Like, there is no world in which that is okay unless that other woman is your dying mother.
Yeah.
Like.
and again, you don't have to wait for S to invite OP. You just bring your wife with you.
Yeah.
In case
you guys going out to dinner, like, or you're going out to the bar, like, bring your wife.
Yeah. If people don't realize it, understand this. Singles out there. If you tell something to a married person, chances are 9.999 times out of 10, their spouse is going to know about it also.
Yep.
Because marriages, communication, tell each other everything, right? And if you invite one, you're inviting both.
At some point,
unless
both
it's
are going to
something
be
special, like a bachelor party, bachelorette party, when the girls' night out, those kind of situations.
But like casual hangouts,
casual hangouts and Christmas
barbecues.
First off, who throws a Christmas party on Christmas Day?
People who hate their families.
Yeah.
And who goes to them? Also people who hate their families. So I would be seeing that. It's like, oh, you hate me. Awesome.
Not wrong. Not wrong. So, keep that in mind. If you're inviting a married person out, you're also inviting their spouse. And
if
for married people out there, if you're getting invited, especially if the person is of the opposite gender, bring your spouse. Doesn't have to be every time.
And not even the opposite gender. If it is the gender you would prefer to be married and boinking.
Yes.
So,
my apologies on that one. You're 100% correct. That was
but if it's somebody that could be a potential partner for you, you bring your actual partner.
And it doesn't have to be every time.
But just
every now and then.
They should know who each other are.
Yeah. Yeah. So that way they know this is a safe person to have around.
Or they can at least get a read from their standpoint and be like,
she obviously
she's trying to bang you.
With him spending time with other females because he had other female friends.
So it wasn't the gender. It was the fact that the behavior is indicating something more.
It's problematic.
And it is a problem. Like, sorry, not sorry.
Yep, 100%. Now,
magically,
what can we do about this, right? So, my first thought goes right to the exposing of lies. Because there are lies being told, at the very least, from S to J.
Yep.
Or even worse, from J to OP.
Yeah.
So when we look at doing
de-glamour working,
lie busting, truth telling, if you're somebody that works with colors, you're going to want to work with blue and white. White's just kind of a general, whereas blue is a justice working, right? Because exposing a lie and having people being seen for what they are, that is justice. If you like working with the moon phases, the waxing moon encourages honesty. The full moon is about truth magic. And the waning moon banishes lies, right? So those are a couple that you're going to want to look at if you do moon phases. And when you want to use herbs, we have rosemary, thyme, salt, and juniper.
Give me 1 second, because we just went over this in my Urban Crystal class.
Cool.
There's another one I got.
Okay. You go grab that. I'm going to keep going over some of these.
And for crystals, pyrite.
Let's see. There's also white chrysanthemum, fir, juniper, and primrose. Crystals, we have clear quartz, obsidian, amethyst, sodalite, lapis lazuli, aquamarine, and like Jess just said, Pyrite.
Pyrite is my
fool's gold,
absolute favorite.
a lot of the stuff that it's pointing towards is the throat chakra, right? And that whole area, because that area is all promoting communication and all that kind of good stuff. So you want clear and honest communication.
Orange peel is what I was looking for.
Yes, that would work as well.
Orange peel is a purifier and a cleanser, so it's going to purify the tongue.
Yeah.
From all the bullshit.
I found it interesting. There's 3 tarot cards, or not 3 tarot cards, 3 tarot cards that the one person suggested. And in case you're not aware of it, you can place tarot cards with your workings to help amplify that feeling and that
energy. Yeah.
Energy that goes along with it, right? So we have the Tower, because we want to crumble down in big dramatic fashion.
My favorite.
We have the Justice card, obvious reasons, and the 7 of Swords.
Yeah.
Again, obvious reasons. Thief in the night, trying to steal stuff from you, trying to take stuff from you, being dishonest. Candles are great for this situation. Sigils are great for this situation. You can build your own sigil around telling the truth. You can write a petition and light the candle and burn the petition above the candle, or you lay it underneath, put the candle on top of it, and let the wax encompass it.
Do a banishing working.
Do banishing workings.
Freezer jar.
All on it. If you want to get a little literal, go to a local butcher. Go to a store that will sell some more unusual or exotic meats. Get yourself a tongue. It doesn't have to be beef or cow. You can get even just duck, right?
I can get pig tongue at the Asian market for about $2.50 for a tongue. So, they're not hard to find or inexpensive if you know where to look.
Yep. With something like that. Now, this is where folk magic gets a little
messy,
a little gross. But, especially with the orange peel, if you put a little slit into the tongue, put your herbs in there, especially the orange peel, you seal it up, boom, now you have a tongue that's being promoted to be clean of dishonesty, right? Couple other things you can do, or another one that you can do with it, and I thought this one was really kind of cool. You need an onion and an offering. So the onion you'll take and say kind of the same mantra over and over, or talk about the lies the person's telling, and take away dishonesty, I want to take away this, I want to take away that, as you're peeling sections and layers of the onion off.
Okay, can I do this with a bloomin' onion, though, and just eat it, too?
No. Because
great.
we'll look into lunch here in just a little bit later than it down. What was it? Oh, yeah, so you're ripping off layers and pieces as you go along with it. Then take it out into nature. That's where your offering comes in. It can be a coin or two. It can be a shot. It can be, anything. But you want to leave an offering to the local land spirits. Tell them the story. Let them know what is going on. And then you just throw the onion on the ground. And as the onion decomposes and wilts, so does the lies. So this is like 90% intention based, with a good 10% being spiritually respectful and allowing Mother Nature to do
its
thing. I'm probably going to be doing this one here very soon myself.
I didn't lie.
I know you didn't. We pretty much stopped lying to each other quite some time ago.
I know. I was just
being silly. Once you learn how important honesty and open communication is, it's hard to ever go back. So yeah, on that note, I think we have a 3-layer of this one. We have an asshole, and not an asshole, and a dude that is floating between. The Christmas thing kind of puts him heavily into the asshole side.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I would say he could still be just.
That's when you know it's like.
And taken.
That's when you know it's escalated to a full-on, at least emotional affair, if not a full-on affair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if they're not banging, they're very close to.
I got a feeling that by the time he stormed out and turned off his
phone,
he was
they were totally banging.
if they weren't banging before that, that was the moment. That was the night.
Going to grandma's in another state.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that little guy's purring. I don't know if that's going to get edited out in the with background noises, but Fred is purring his little butt off. I can hear it through the microphone.
He makes his little chest scritches.
And everybody in the comments, they all agree. They all agree that she's not the ass. The OP is not the asshole.
Like she's not overreacting. She is not crazy.
She and S are banging and kind of all that good stuff. And you know what? I hope that this is going to beat the odds, and it's going to turn out that they're not banging, and that Jay is just kind of an idiot.
But you know what, S? The way you get him is the way you lose him.
Very true. Very true. And if they are banging ploy, I hope they have the day, the month, and the relationship that they deserve.
Also, OP needs to get an STI panel.
Yeah. That's never a bad advice for if
you suspect an affair.
Spouse cheating. Or not even just a spouse, a partner in general.
Yeah.
So, get a clean bill of health. Get a lawyer.
And a locksmith.
Get a locksmith. There's a lot of things you're going to have to get. On the upside, depending on what state you're in, you'll still probably have to end up paying for most of it. Don't give me that tone of voice there, young man.
I'm having an emotional affair with Fred.
Oh, it's fine. All right, guys, we're going to cut that off here. I hope you enjoyed the Am I the Asshole as much as we enjoyed doing it. It's just a fun little break from the seriousness of the topics that we normally touch on. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. You know, I
hit all the buttons, please.
Yeah, I check all of the analytics and the results numerous times throughout the week. It's growing. It is steadily growing. You know, platforms that I didn't think would be our strongest are at times our strongest, which is fantastic. We started doing some YouTube shorts, so if you're in YouTube scanning through the shorts, keep an eye open for that. It's normally little snippets of the episode, but I want to start doing some extra bits on top of it. Fighting time, y'all. It's rough, but we're getting there, and it's all because of you. So please like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, email us any comments or questions. We have just 3 episodes until the
2 more episodes before
2 more before we film and do the Ask a Witch. So ask us anything, where we will hopefully have a panel of practitioners to answer in all of our own right. You know, we'll probably only pick like 3 or 4 questions and have a round robin discussion on them. So
you know, if they don't want to come, I'll just duct tape them to the chair and make them. I know, that's why I can duct tape them to a chair and not get arrested.
That's true. That's true. Listen, you just need to use your typical angry mom stare that just intimidates so many people.
I mean, it'll work on Arlene, but I'm not sure it'll work on Sean. I think it makes him more scared. Maybe. Yeah,
it's not maybe. All right, guys. Again, thank you, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Until next time.